But
we only need 16.
16. We're breaking this up into 2 8-hour bits. I always get a chuckle every time I see the old.
Why is it? Yeah.
What?
Wait, see what?
Okay.
It's in Arabic this time. Last time it was in like Asian.
Yeah, it was Chinese or something. Why does it do that? It just randomly picks languages? Because I do not set that up.
Worldwide. No, you did. It's fine. You're worldwide, bud.
Worldwide, in effect. Arabic, Asian. I mean, I'm just everybody. Come on over, check out the Source Material podcast. Hey, welcome to Source Material. We're live, pal. Right now, this evening. If anybody's tuning in live, which we have no viewers, which is perfectly fine with me, because it is going to be a relaxed.
Wake up, America!
It's going to be a relaxed show. My good buddy, good Stephen Marsh, has joined me this evening. Good Stephen, we just sat here for what, like 45 minutes while we made notes on this here podcast. That's the first time I've ever had a pre-production meeting on a podcast. I actually went longer than 45 minutes and actually had something to do with the show. Usually it's just BS. And how you doing tonight, man?
The production meeting may be longer than the show in this instance. Maybe.
It very well could be, because we kind of have an idea of what we're doing now. And when that happens, then, things get done. That very well could be what happens tonight. So last time me and you talked, we had an episode together. I think it was Alien versus Predator, right? We haven't done any episodes together since then, have we?
I don't believe so. Other than not on Source Material.
Okay, yeah. I know you may have popped in on a phone, maybe a phone call one time when I was live. Since then, I don't know, man. It's been quite a while.
I don't think you've had it. No, I was on after you were live.
Okay.
You haven't been live. Last live show was when you were doing Back to the Future.
Dang, dude.
It's been a while.
Wow. Well, I was going to say, I just saw my time hop, I think it was a year ago when I started. Me and Ronnie were talking about Back to the Future issue 1. So, yeah, dude, dang. So, well then, okay. So the last episode me and you recorded together was a fun little story called Alien versus Predator, Prey to the Heavens. Now, I wasn't impressed with that.
You were lost.
I was, dude, and I had to have you explain a few things to me that were clearly not laid out in the book. When I say clearly, I mean they may have been in the book, just not clearly laid out. I
don't think they were in there at all.
Okay.
I think I just knew them because I'm in the fandom.
Anybody who wants to can go out there in the Radulich and Broadcasting Network archive, find that episode, and you can just listen to me be lost for about, I don't know, an hour or 2 hours, however long we had the episode. But it was still a fun story. I mean, we had predators versus humans. Predators were down on Earth. I didn't realize at the time, though, that there were two sets of predators out there. There may be more. I don't know. You could educate me on that. But we know that there are hundreds. What's that?
I don't know. There could be more. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. But
I'm not that deep. Yeah.
We know of two for sure, which are the hunters and the killers. Not the band. No. And yeah, exactly. Hunters are the ones that we get. The hunter predators are the ones that we get in. I mean, the original movie Predator, correct? He's a hunter, right?
Yeah.
Have we ever had a killer at all in any of the films?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
In the last one, I think they were just like training for hunting season. I don't think they were like killers like they are in this instance.
Okay. All right. And you're talking about the movie Predators with
Adrian Brody.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So most of anybody who's watched any Predator movie is pretty familiar with what a hunter is. It's a person. It's Predator that goes out and hunts game for sport. Now, in Pray to the Heavens, we were introduced to another band called the Killers, which not the band, but another sect of predators called the Killers. And the Killers would go and they just straight up, it's just carnage. There's nothing they do other than just kill for the absolute fun of it. There's no sport to it. Am I correct there? Is there anything that you'd like to add?
You're correct. You're 100%.
All right. So they just go out there, they kill. They love to watch, the 3 dots on the back of people's heads and blow them apart, grab spines, sub-zero them straight out of nowhere.
Fatality.
Mortal Kombat reference. Okay. So there you go. There's hunters and killers. Now I got schooled on that one on the last one. So going into this one that we're covering tonight is a continuation. I'll say continuation, somewhat of a continuation, right? Do you remember if there are any books in between this one that we're covering tonight, which is AvP 3 World War, and and Predator Pray to the Heavens?
I think this was the direct sequel because you were like,
okay, all right.
After we covered the last one, I think that's how we got to this one.
Okay. Now, AvP, Alien versus Predator, 3 World War. Let's go ahead and we'll give props to our creators here. And I'm going to go ahead. Let me see if I can do this real quick. If I can make this happen, it'll be very nice. Let me get to the first page. And I want to try and screen share. So if we end this broadcast, I apologize. Well, I won't do it for the rest of the night. I'll call you back or send you another invite. But give me a second.
Okay.
Let me see if we can start to screen share, present to everyone, and boom. There's our 2-page spread. Are you seeing this? I don't know. I know you're set up by phone.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. No, I'm on PC as well.
All right, sweet. So here's our cover for AvP 3 World War, issue number 1. Pretty bad-ass looking cover. I mean, we've got a Predator there. I mean, just if you were going into the comic shop and you saw this sitting on the shelf. By the way, this cover is, the art on the cover is tremendous. I don't know if it's the same person that does the art on the interior. I can tell you it doesn't look like this on the interior, as we'll show you here in a few. But looking at, we've got a Predator here that's got, I don't know how many aliens on chains. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think things coming off. Maybe 3, 4, 5. There's a lot. We got this Predator has these aliens like they're dogs. That's what I get. It's like some big dude with 9 pit bulls walking down the street. I would avoid the guy. So anything strike you on this cover? Anything to you that just stands out?
I just like to shout out Corky Romano, and bad dogs aren't born, they're made.
Corky Romano? You're quoting Corky Romano?
Yes.
The movie with
favorite.
What's his name?
Chris Kattan.
Chris Kattan. Gosh.
I love that guy. He needs to do more stuff.
All right. So here is
great cover, but it's not just one. If you peek behind him, be above his left shoulder, there's 3 more, and that's where the other aliens are coming out. So I think he just has 3 himself, and then behind.
Okay, gotcha. I see him back there. So, all right, let's give props to our creative team here. These are all. I think, what was our last one? Were we talking about the cooties?
Yeah, those were John Arcudi.
Okay, Arcudi was on AvP Pray to the, or eight. Was Alien part of that one? It wasn't. It was just Predator Pray to the Heavens, right? Alien wasn't part of the last story we did. It's just Predator. Okay, All right.
I think there is a few in between because this is from 2010, and I think the Pray to Heavens is just from 2000. So there's a few books in between.
All right. Well, our creative team here, script by Randy Stradley, pencils by Rick Leonardi, inker Mark Pennington, colors Wes Joba. See, I rolled that. I put it all together. Joba made a J sound. DZ is a J. Did you know that? I didn't.
I did not.
I just made that up. But we're going to call him Wes Joba. So anyway, lettering looks pretty cool. Lettering done by Blambot. Is that an I or an exclamation point?
That's an exclamation point. I meant to look that up before we did the show. I don't know if that's a program or if that's a Prince thing.
Computers. Blambot.
Taking our jobs.
Get Mark Radlich on the phone right now. Blambot. No more letterers in comics. It's all done by robots. Damn it. All right.
It's a site dedicated to, it's just a font site. Wow.
Really?
Yeah. So they just went to like Blambot and typed words.
Very good. Hey, Dark Horse, by the way, Dark Horse Comics, synonymous with a lot of Predator and a lot of Alien comics. So that's our publisher. All right. Let's go ahead. We'll get into, I'm going to go ahead and stop screen sharing here real quick. And we'll get into the meat of what now the format is, just to let everybody know. I'm going to I'm going to talk about the first two issues, recap those two issues, and then we're just, if we have anything we'd like to talk about during that period of time, anything I missed, I'll bring it up, or excuse me, if anything I missed, Marshall's going to step in and say something. And if he has any specific things he'd like to talk about, or if I have anything I'd like to talk about, we'll bring it up. We'll talk about it here at the end of the first two issues, and then we'll do 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. That's pretty much how it's all going to go down. All right. So, first two issues here. We're introduced to a lady by the name, I'll make sure I get her name right. I want to say Mashiko. See, I've already messed it up. Mashiko Noguchi. I'm finding the page right now so we can find out. Yeah, it's Machiko Noguchi. Yep. Okay. So we're introduced to Machiko Noguchi. Now, she is our heroine, she's our main character of this comic. A lady who has a strange scar on her forehead. I mean, oddly reminiscent of Harry Potter. I don't know if I don't think there's a. It looks like a lightning bolt almost, and I don't know if the scar goes down into her eye. I don't think it does. I think it just goes. It's right on her forehead. But anyway, she's got a weird scar on her forehead. She's well trained. Very. What can you hop in here? What's your best description for Mashiko here?
She's a warrior lady.
That's a good one. I don't know what she's doing on this planet. Like, she's either leading some team to do some kind of excavation or something. I don't think it's very much important. She's got a team herself that is doing some kind of a job on this planet. And the Colonial Marines, these guys pop up an awful lot in the Alien movies. So they show up and they are discussing with her, trying to find out if she would help them take care of a predator problem. And she is. They also mention that there's a bug problem as well. The aliens are referred to as bugs throughout this book. So, regardless, she has no interest. Supposedly, she has a history with, according to the Colonial Marines, she has a bit of a history with both the bugs and the predators. We don't know exactly what here in this first issue, but she is, they're coming to her for some assistance. And she's like, how about you just screw off, because I'm not interested. However, she's shown a video of these predators that had killed a bunch of people on this planet. And she finds out that these are Not the regular predators that we're used to. There are the killer predators, the ones that go out and kill for sport. And not only did this video show this killer predator, but this predator had aliens doing its bidding. Just like I said, kind of like dogs. Like they show up and they pointed at these people, and there went the aliens and attacked them and killed them. So imagine that you've got a predator who's using the aliens as a weapon. So that's kind of what's going on here. And once she sees this video, she's like, okay, I tell you what, I'm in. Count me in, because these guys are bad news, and I want to try and get rid of them. So there is a point where we flash back to some of I think they're the events that happen after Pray to the Heavens. Because if you remember right, and at the end of Pray to the Heavens, wasn't like the main character Thorpe, was he caught? Or did he just run into the woods? Because he just straight up disappeared or something.
Yeah, he just went to MIA.
Okay. Well, we kind of catch up on the post story of what happened with the epilogue that happened with Thorpe. And I think he said he was captured or something. And was there anything else significant that he brought up other than where he just mentioned about, the killers coming down there and wiping out most of the platoon that he was in, and then he found the hunters who helped him out? Was there anything else significant that you can remember that he mentioned in the video?
It was just all that. Yeah, it's just all that.
Okay.
But the flashback is her story, really.
Yeah, well, when we she kind of gives us a bit of the origin there, I think, towards the end. Where she talks about how she was captured, or I don't know if she was captured, but she was sent down to the planet, and either her whole team got wiped out. Hop in here, man, if I'm screwing anything up. But I know pretty much what happened was the only thing that was left was her and a hunter predator. And Broken Tusk, that's right. And they fought and killed off this swarm of aliens that was coming after him. And when she did that, she earned the honor to become part of his clan. And that's where the scar comes in on her head. He marked her on her head, the mark of their clan. So she won, membership. She's now a member of Sam's Club. She can now go shopping.
Just bundles.
Bundles
of aliens.
Yeah, exactly. She won the honor to become a member of this clan, and I assume she escaped. Obviously, she's now living, as a human. It's not like she become a part of this clan and then lived with them for the rest of their life. She showed that she had enough guts to take these aliens out, and he obviously respected her enough for that.
Well, they go to Bunda and start killing humans, and then that's when she draws the line, and that's when she meets Ellis, who I don't know is Ellis. He's in one of the other books, I'm guessing, but that's how she got out.
Oh, really? So they took off and went to start killing humans, and she was like, okay, this ain't happening. I can't do this. I can't kill my own kind. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that makes sense. All right. So now obviously she's running the civilian life. So her first idea is, okay, we've got to take these killers out. So we're going to need some assistance. So they, in the middle of issue 2, decide to go and try to talk her old clan into assisting them, helping them out. Now, this is not, you just can't go up to a predator and start talking to them. Okay, there's rules. Clearly there are different species. They've got different cultural, what's the word I'm looking for here? They've got,
Traditions.
yes, traditions. So they've got different cultural traditions. So you can't just walk up to a predator and say, "Hey, how about you guys help us out?" So what happens here is they find the planet, land on the planet. Noguchi, by the way, she don like her. She had an old like a predator mask, and puts on the warrior garb.
Yes.
Okay, to go and talk to these guys. So they they walk up onto this band of hunters that are sitting there, and I assume that are part of her clan. And she walks up to the first one, and without saying a word, without even making any type of crazy hey, we've come in peace movement, she kills this predator like straight out of nowhere. And of course the Marines are like, what the hell's going on? And the reader is going, what was she doing? But what we find out is that this is the way for her to again earn the respect of the hunters that are there by killing one of their own, and that way showing them, okay, it's a level playing field. I'm in charge. Or at least, hey, I want to talk. So at that point, she looks at the band of Marines and says, okay, now we can talk. As the rest of, as the predators pick up their dead, their dead friend, and are going to take her to what I assume is the leader of the hunter clan that she just found. So that's where we kind of pretty much end issue 2, where she takes out this predator in front of his friends, and they're off to go see the wizard, the wonderful wizard of they are off to go see the head predator. So okay, that's our first 2 issues. What do you think here, man? Anything I left out? Anything you want to discuss? Anything that you think's pretty cool?
You left out the gang sign up in the sky, if you will, to let the predators know they were coming.
That's right.
When they landed.
That's right, because they would have. Yeah, as they were coming down, they dispersed some flares in the sky as in the same shape as the mark on her forehead, and when they landed, that's where they're like, okay, that they were familiar with. Somebody was coming down that knew who the clan was, and of course, when she probably got off the ship, they were like, "What the hell?" And then she proceeds to
I never put that together. That was extremely bad idea. Like, oh, I'm out, but I'm gonna come back a couple of years later. It's like if you left the mafia and then walked in and asked the mafia for a favor 5 years later. I don't think that would go over very well.
I don't know how she got off that planet that you were talking about without getting killed herself, unless she just straight up barely escaped with live.
Yeah, I think she teamed up with. Again, I'm just filling gap holes based on what I know, but I'd say that when she teamed up with Ellis and his team, they just they were like, all right, out.
So they let her go, or you think they let her go, or she just left and got the hell out as quick as she could?
Well, I think she picked her human side, and then when they went to the Marines versus Predators, she's like, "Oh, I'm going to pick the humans in this one," and then luckily they won. Or Ellis, if it's any other Predator book.
I got you. All right. Let me take a look here. Let's kind of look at some of the. I'll bring up a couple screenshots, and maybe we can talk about them. I do want to. Okay, issue 1. Am I in issue 1 right now? Yeah. We were talking about how she was a warrior. I think this page right here really sticks out to show you how skilled and how just scary she is, really. Let me go to screen share. Boom. Start to screen share, present to everyone. And then, all right. So you remember this part where, like, the guy, one of the big, bulky Marines, like, grabs a hold of her and says, "Hey, the captain's not done talking to you." And then and then she straight up grabs every pin. No, excuse me. She grabs a pin off of one of the grenades. And he's trying to stop her, and she, like, I think she hits him, like, no, she hits him.
She doesn't even touch him, does she? No, she doesn't touch him, does she?
Oh, he puts his arm on her, and she takes the toothpick out of her mouth, and then proceeds to put him on the ground. And while he's getting up or something, I think it's while he's getting up, he realizes that she pulls a pin. Well, of course, she kind of waves it in his face. She had pulled a pin from a grenade, and he starts freaking out, and they're yelling grenade. All the Marines are flying to the ground, but once it doesn't go off, they're trying to figure out why the hell didn't it go off. And it turns out, and throughout that whole fight, she was able to take that pin out of the grenade and then put the toothpick in there in order to stop it from blowing up. So that just shows you, how skilled. I keep saying skilled. I mean, how very knowledgeable as a fighter she is. You don't want to mess with her.
Especially with the name on your back.
Yeah. Let's take a look, see what else we got here. Let me stop screen sharing here real quick. Issue 2. You hop in anytime, man. I'm just messing around. Boom. Let's go to issue 2 here.
Oh boy. See from 2.
It's a good pick.
Oh, the fight. There's also a silly fight that happens.
Oh, yeah.
Suit
Yes.
in 2. I forgot about that.
That's where she points out that there's a synthezoid in the synthezoid, a synth. Now, for anybody out there that's hasn't watched the Alien movies or is not familiar with the whole canon of the Alien, but one of the things that they have in the Alien movies is a person, but it's a robot. I can't remember. Is it in Aliens where Lance Henriksen
It's
doesn't?
the first one.
Is it the first one? I swear,
Yeah.
Lance Henriksen plays, I think, the synthezoid in the first one, where it's basically just a robot. But anyway, we find out that in the Marine, she picks out one of the Marines is a synthezoid, and like nobody knew it. Nobody knew that he was, at least that was serving with him anyway there. So I think that was pretty cool. He becomes his name is Sereda, I think, and he becomes an important part here later in the story. Here's a good shot of her.
He's in the second one. He's Bishop in the second one.
Okay, all right. I don't remember the first one too well. Here's a good shot of Noguchi's and her scar, Harry Potter scar. I wonder if I could zoom in on that. Probably could, if I wanted. There's the flares you were talking about.
Yeah. Flare 4. You get it?
Ah, I see that.
Boom.
And then she takes out the Predator. She's a nimble little minx. Just quoted Ghostbusters, by the way. I think. Next, save the queen. All right, so yeah, she's still got her armor and stuff apparently because she lands and she's got the mask on and all that stuff. So, okay. Anyway, anything else you want to talk about with issue 1 and 2?
I think that's it. I think we covered it.
We covered it all. All right, so then we get to, let me go ahead and stop this real quick. Boom. So we get to issues 3 and 4. So where we left off is that
Ian Holm. Sorry, I had to do that. That's the first android.
What was the name?
That threw me off. Ian Holm.
Ian Holm.
Sir Ian Holm.
That's right. So our human band of Marines, colonial Marines, have decided, well, our team here is finally going to go get to talk to this clan and see if they're going to join. Now, while they're still talking to them, we find out that Sereda, he's down there on the planet side with them, can see in infrared. So he can actually see the predators that are invisible. Even though it looks like everybody left, the clan left, I think they left like 2 predators just to, that are cloaked to sit there and watch the rest of the Marines that were hanging out by the ship. So anyway, kind of neat, just something fun.
5.
5? What are you talking about?
5. You said there's 2. There's 5.
Oh, there's 5 predators that are left. Okay.
I've been talking, and he's like 5. There's one over by that boulder, and then that's when he makes the old.
Ah, I see. Now, during the meeting, there's some type of a disturbance. So the predators get up all of a sudden and start, it startles the Marines that are sitting there talking to him and Noguchi, and they take off and they're like, well, what's going on? Well, we find out that these predators have captured a queen alien, and some of her children have showed up to try and rescue her. So there's we get a battle between the Marines and the bugs, along with the hunters. Now, the hunters and the Marines actually come together in order to secure the queen alien because she's almost broken loose from whatever wires or things that have captured or had her ensnared. And of course, we got all these children aliens, these bug aliens that have come to try and get her out of there, fighting. They're fighting the Marines, they're fighting the hunters. So they've got to come up and they team out. The hunters and Marines come together, and they're able to stop the queen alien from escaping. Now, this secures the alliance, if you will, for them to team up and head out and find the killers. So the Marines have succeeded. They have come to this planet to try and get the hunters help, and now they have secured it. And we're off to go find these killers and try and get rid of them. The wizard again. He shows back up. Unbelievable. So they're off to go get the killers, and they're joined together now. Now, Noguchi pretty much becomes the interpreter between the Marines and hunters. Now, during that time period that she was with the hunter clan, she had learned a little bit of their language. And so what she uses now, she uses a sign language to interpret between the Marines and the hunters, which she makes sure, she tells us it's slow and it's pretty basic. But it gets the job done. Let's see here. Oh, so they find a killer base. They finally find a planet that the killers are on, and they head down and they attack it. Now during the battle, it's found that the killers are using this jamming device that pretty much disrupts communications and technology. So, the navigation systems are down, things aren't working right. So they've got to try, during most of this issue is them trying to figure out a way that would destroy that jamming device. So then they can use their weapons, all the technology that they have at their disposal, in order to, win the battle. So they figure out a way to do that. And at that point, they get the upper hand, and they send the killers back into their ship. And at the end of issue 4, it's pretty much the killers taking off from the planet and trying to get away. Now, a lot of this is bad. Most of this issue is pretty much the Marines versus the bugs and the killers, and of course, the hunters are also helping out. I think at one point there's a hunter that gets hurt, and one of the Marines reaches down there to try and offer his hand to the hunter to try and pull him up. And at first, I think the hunter is like, no, I'm willing to die here. And then he concedes and sticks his arm out, and the Marines actually help this predator back to the ship in order to get better. So again, we've got hunter predators and Marines working together to try and get rid of these killers and these bugs. So that's issue 3 and 4. Good, Steven, man. What do you got here? Anything you like to add? Anything you like to talk about?
They disrupted the stuff with a nuclear bomb that they took the nuke out of.
That's right. They did. They did indeed. They used some kind of a weird, they went into a deep explanation. What's that?
From the 1700s.
Yes.
Isn't that what he said?
Yep. It was like a yeah. I know that he was saying that he would the way that it would work, it would go, whatever it was, some kind of a weird ball that was like okay. Now I have no idea what that is. He said electroscope.
Me neither.
Okay. Oh, I know that what it would do is it would go toward anything that had a magnetic signal or something like that. So what they did was they tied that into the navigation system. So when they dropped this missile, that thing would, whatever it is that was in there would try and go toward whatever had an electromagnetic signal. And whenever it leaned that way, that's the way the missile would go. So it kind of served as its guidance system. And then, of course, that would take it to wherever the jammer was, and the missile took out the jammer. And therefore, we get our upper hand. But let me see if I can find anything here. Oh, issue 3. Let's take a look. Take a little look-see what we got here in issue 3. Yeah. Got to remember, folks, when you're dealing with the bugs, okay?
Bring your bug spray.
Bring. You better bring anti-acid something or other. Better bring some Tums. Better bring your Tums, because that's one of the scariest things. I've always wondered. Do you have any? How can an organism have acid for blood? Is it actually blood, or is it something else?
It's their blood. It's how our blood is 70% water, but the aliens and signs are allergic to water.
The aliens and signs. You ever watched Alien Nation? That's an old one, dude. I'm talking maybe possibly before you were born. I don't know. You would have been young. Well, okay.
They're allergic to oxygen?
Close. Here's Alien Nation was actually a movie first, and then a show second. It actually became a show that stuck around for at least, 2 seasons, maybe 3. I'm going to have to go to that Wikipedia and figure it out. But Alien Nation was actually about there was a group of aliens that came to Earth, and their home was destroyed. So they were looking for a new planet to live on. So they come to Earth, and they ask, they kind of show up, and they're like, hey, they talk like, I don't know if they talk like us, but they're humanoid. The only thing difference is they have, I guarantee you if I showed you a picture, you'd be like, okay, I've seen this before. But their heads, instead of having hair,
I don't know I don't. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen it before, but it looks like something I want to watch now.
Okay, yeah. Instead of having hair, they have like spots
Like,
on their head, and
they look like
I
liver
think,
spots.
yeah, yep, exactly. And if I remember correctly, I don't know if the movie is based on this. I think the movie was. It's been so long, but I know that the show was about two policemen. One of them was human, and the other one was one of these aliens. And it wasn't like a comedy, which is the first thing you'd think of, but it was more like a sci-fi drama. It was rare that it wasn't like really wholeheartedly science fiction. It was more dealing with the fact that these people, or these aliens, were now here on Earth, and society had to adjust to them, but society still went on. So you still had crime, and it was just they threw in stuff about how some of the aliens had crime. But I remember one specific episode, and I'm getting to their weakness, by the way, which I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, if you've seen what their weakness is. But I remember one specific episode where there was this, oh man, I don't know, it was like some kind of like mob boss had somebody and they were torturing them. There was some kind of like crazy game or something. All right, and they were aliens on the other end of this thing. And it was a roulette wheel, or not a roulette wheel, but like a game of roulette where they would spin the chamber, and once they pulled the trigger, it was either loaded or it wasn't. So I think there was like some type of a game going on behind that. But anyway, in the chambers was not a bullet, but salt water. And the reason for that is the aliens, if they touched salt water, it was like acid. It burnt right through them. So, of course, a lot of these aliens moved inland, but I can remember, I can remember that that was one of the big things. I mean, if they touched salt water, they were done for. So Alienation was interesting. Does it have like when it was airing? It had to have been like 87.
It just ran like it was the movie came out in '88, and then the show ran from like 9 to 90. It just had like there's like 16 episodes or something, not that very many.
Oh wow. Yeah. So it was a Fox show, right?
Yes, on Fox.
Yeah, I thought so.
May 7th, 1990.
Wow. Now, it was a fun show.
23 episodes.
But it's so funny that you mentioned signs. Now that I think of it, they were allergic to water, but these guys in that show were actually, deathly allergic to salt water. But anyway, okay. So now that we've gone on a pretty fun tangent there, looking through, see what else we got on in issue 3. Always got to get messed up by the aliens. And okay, let's go ahead and talk about this because this bugged me. All right, is that? Listen, I know that's part of the alien. Okay, we're looking at the tongue. What do you call it?
I say inner mouth, but I get what you said. Tongue.
The inner mouth, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I just it looks like a damn arm coming out of their. And I don't understand how that could be even more deadly than the actual, fangs that are 3-inch, 4-inch fangs that are coming off their face already. But of course,
I think that's for like smaller bites. It just gives you that like extended reach.
You think I got you. So you're like thinking you're out of the way, and then all of a sudden we got stuff like with this guy right here. Take a look, old Splutch. I get it off, Splutch. Good old Splutch. Yeah, he's done. And that's going in directly into his mouth or something. I mean, that's just nasty.
Sometimes.
Man. Now, all right, so that's them. Oh, what? Nope. I want to do this. It's right here. issue 3. Let's take a look and see if we can find issue 4. So we got in here. Go back to the first page. Just taking a look through here just to see what we got. I mean, this is the battle as they got down there. This is where the guy, what I was talking about, where the guy sticks his arm out. And he helps him up.
And then, wait, one more page. There, bam. Where Cans tries to get in, and he doesn't quite make it.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't make it very, he gets the old...
The alien hands are very brown in that shot compared to, like, everything else.
It is, too.
Like, they just look like they're miscolored.
Well, you know, what I thought was I was like, well, maybe that's a predator. I remember looking at this picture, and I thought the same thing, but I don't think that's the case, because that thing coming up through him right there. Was there any predators on his tail?
I don't think so. I think they were just surrounded by
just all aliens. Yeah. Okay. And there's them putting together a non-conductive ball, which will be attracted toward any electromagnetic source, such as killers, jamming.
1985.
All right. Well, that's that. We'll go ahead and stop sharing there, and we'll get back to the. All right. Anything else you'd like to say?
Get out of here, Sharon.
Sharon, done sharing.
We're done sharing.
You're done. Anything else you'd like to bring up about issues 3 and 4?
No, I think we covered them.
All right. They're in the hole. All right, let's get to our issue 5 and 6 conclusion of.
Although 3's cover is pretty awesome. Even though
let's
the
pull it up.
But I'm just saying the cover I like the cover on this one too.
Hold on, let me go. Is issue 3?
Yeah.
Let me get to the.
Yeah, 1, 3, and 6 are definitely the best covers.
That thing does look awesome, dude. That looks bad. That looks awesome. We got this is where the queen. You know, when I first started reading this, I remember looking at the covers, and I might have even mentioned this on the podcast that we were on, when we did Pray to the Heavens, because we were looking to see if we could find what the next installment was. And I thought she was a predator, like a predator-human hybrid.
Yeah, like the hybrid. Yeah, we brought that up.
Because she wasn't in any way. I mean, she was, well, I say in any way, that's not the case. She kind of was. She didn't have any, just in training. But when you look at her here, I mean, she's got the dreadlocks, all the stuff on, I thought she was part predator. Look at this dude down here in the right corner.
I know. I just noticed it. That's the first time I've ever noticed it. If you singled that out, that could be like a scary movie poster in itself.
He's like, oh shit. That's pretty cool. That is a pretty cool looking cover. This is where obviously that's a queen alien in the background. And we got the chains. Pretty cool. Now
the chains are a metaphor for society.
Oh, really? Oh, we're getting that deep. On AvP. We're going to reach that. We're going to reach. Oh, you know what's? When was this published? April of 2010. Yeah, April of 2010. Where's my magnifier at? There it is. World War III, April of 2010. Talk about this online at darkhorse.com. The reason I was asking is, notice that right there. Well, the cover was done. What's that?
The itty bitty 09 IG
Yeah,
looking thing.
that's. I assume he created this cover back in 09. Who is doing the cover? I would like here. Let's go back into this. Does it have anything?
No, it's wait, maybe I don't
Oh,
know.
right
I
here it is.
found it.
No,
Wait,
I got it.
yeah, Raymond Swanlin. Swanlin.
That's pretty nice, man. I wonder if he's got much more else because I mean that I assume is painted because that it's got to be painted in some way. But anyway, he does.
Website.
He does a good job. What's that?
Website.
What did you say?
He just
website?
used the font.
Does he have one?
The words.
Oh, Blam.
Yeah, he does.
Blambot.
He just used Blambot.
Your lettering and painting and cover source for everything. Now, how do I turn off the magnifier? Probably be a good idea.
As far as comics go, I think he just did the covers for these.
That's
the only thing that like. I mean, he has other stuff like there's a thing that says like Oddworld Inhabitants, illustration, Magic the Gathering, and then personal work. But as far as like,
if he's got his hands in Magic the Gathering, I could see that. Like there are some really nice cards that I've seen in the past. Like I can almost name you some of the artists on some of the Magic cards I used to have because the art on some of those cards was magnificent. So this would be something that I could see easily done by, because this almost looks like a Magic card, to be honest. The cover of this number 3, which how in the world? Okay, get me out of that. Do me a quick favor. I want to share my screen again. And I want you to watch. Tell me if this increases in size in any way. Not like that. No, hold on. Give me a second.
Wait, with the magnifier, or you made it like closer?
Give me a second. I'm doing this right here. Is it any bigger?
Yes. Yeah.
Like how much bigger?
There's a bunch of white to the right and left of it now, but
so it's just my whole screen then. You can see my magnifier over here on the right.
Yeah, it's dancing.
And then
now it's not.
And
now it's on the left.
All right, just checking that out, see what it looked like. Anyway, yeah, I could completely see this as being. I want to turn off this magnifier; it's driving me nuts. There we go. I can completely see this being a Magic card almost, which would be awesome if they actually brought in bring in the Colonial Marines and the Queen Bug and Predator for a Magic the Gathering. That'd be sweet.
He does Star Wars stuff too. I don't know if it's like for anything, but he does Star Wars stuff.
Nice. Very nice. All right, well, let's go ahead. We'll get into issues 5 and 6. Put this story to bed, just like I'm going to be here in about 20 minutes. All right. So the killer ship is leaving the planet. Now, here's the thing. The Marines and the hunters have to make a decision as to whether they want to go ahead and kill this ship now or follow this ship back to maybe a base and take out the killers at their base. So they've decided to do the latter, and they figure out a way to track the ship back to the planet, which they give a name to the planet. Do you remember the name? Because I don't. It's like Serenus 3 or...
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't remember.
That's a good enough answer for me. They go. We call that Killer Planet 1. They head back to the Killer's Planet, and I know it's a long ways away. It's like 7 weeks or something. So a lot of these Marines have to hop into cryo sleep, and they finally get there. It's battle time. Now they get down to the planet, and wait a second, hold on. No, before we get to the planet, go ahead.
Yeah, you're good. No, you're good. You got it. I know what
Okay.
you're going to say. I think.
Before they get to the planet, we find out that the Marines actually secured the arm of one of the killers because they knew that the killers had some way of controlling the bugs, the aliens. They didn't know exactly how. Looking inside the arm of the killer, they find that there are things that release pheromones, which, in a combination of certain pheromones, will tell a bug to either attack or go this way or go that way, do this, do that. So they've mastered this way of controlling them by scent, I guess, or, well, pheromones. For those of you who don't know what pheromone is, which is fine because I don't blame you. It's pretty much like the scent that something gives off in order to. Most of what I hear it is for mating. Usually, like a certain pheromone is given, and whatever its mate smells the pheromone, follows the pheromone, and whatever. So somehow the bugs are controlled by pheromones. Tell them to do this, tell them to do that, tell them to attack. Like I said, that's so they figure it out. It's in the arms of these. So now they're going to try and figure out a way to use it to their advantage. The problem is, it's going to take they may not be able to do that exactly. But at least they know how they're being controlled, and maybe there's some way of stopping that from happening. All right. So once they arrive planetside, when I say planetside, they actually once they arrive in orbit of the planet. Uh-oh. What are you sending me, Marsh?
Is there other dude? Too. It's
Masters of the Universe.
kind of, yeah, I'm guessing his is the one at the bottom right because it's the one not like the others and the one that looks like the ones that.
We covered Masters of the Universe on here. Not all of them, because there's a shit ton of them in that collection. There's 2 volumes of that, and I mean it is chock full of all the mini comics, all the stories. But I can tell you right now, if that's him right there on the bottom right, which it does look similar. But dude, it may very well not be, because those things are there's so many in those volumes. Do you know how big one of those volumes are? I have both volumes on my hard drive. They're 900 meg.
Jeez.
Dude, I'm not 900 meg a piece. So when we covered these, it was funny because when Ronnie came up for was it Remix? Maybe I think it may have been Remix. It's either Remix or when he came up for the
Con.
Yeah, Comic-Con. I gave him. I was like, "There's no way I'm putting this on the drive," because they only give you 15 gigs to put on the drive. And what even sucks more about that is that includes everything that you share plus what somebody else shares with you. So if like Ronnie and Josh actually have a folder on there that they've shared with me that takes up like 8 gigs. So there goes half my space. And so I couldn't put I couldn't put 2 volumes that equal 2 gig on there. There was just no way I could get it to fit. Plus it would take forever to upload. So I just burnt it to a DVD. I was like, here, man, just take this home. And then when we cover Master of the Universe, you'll have it at least on your computer. But yeah, 9 freaking gigs, dude. What was I? Was I in the middle of talking about? What were we talking about? Was I in the story 5. Or was I talking about anything else?
Number 5.
Number 5. Okay. So, all right. Alive. Number 5's alive. That's right.
Oh, we were talking about you were telling everyone about the birds and the bees and how pheromones work.
Pheromones. Yeah, it was a very horrible analogy. Okay, so yeah, they're stopping if they can figure out a way to stop the pheromones, that'd be great, because those killers wouldn't be able to control the bugs. So, okay, our ship finally shows up in orbit of the killer's planet, and there's the killer ship waiting right there, and they're like, just letting loose on the fleet of hunters and Marines that just showed up. So what they've decided to do is that instead of taking their chances here out in space, they're going to go planet side and try it that way. So they split off into squadrons, and we pick up where one.
They were kind of forced to do that.
Were the ships like going to explode, or were they just like?
Yeah, they were getting fired on from the planet, and that's why like the dude's like, we're saving ourselves, and they all just drop at once.
Okay, all right. So the squadron of Marines and hunters that includes our synthezoid Sereda. They hop down in this one section of the planet, and what they don't realize is they pretty much walked straight into a nest of face huggers. So the whole platoon get wiped out, including all the hunters as well. But as a killer comes by after everybody's dead, I think you said what the killer did is decided to drag all these. I don't want to call them impregnated.
No, that's perfect.
I mean, are they? They're pretty much impregnated. All these impregnated bodies. But one thing they couldn't do, what we found out, is that the facehuggers could not impregnate the synthezoid because, he's a robot. And the killers decide, okay, well, we'll just take him back to, or wherever we're holding everybody, and we'll kind of check him out. Now, the synthezoid's playing dead. So it's not like the killers know that this thing is still alive. He's playing dead, but he's still functioning, and he's functioning so well, in fact, that he sends a text. We just want to call it a text message to the rest of the Marines, and actually he sends it to, I think it's Hollis. What was his name? Ellis. Sends it to Ellis, and he tells Ellis, "Hey, look, they're taking me back, but I found something out. We need a queen bug." So, as luck would have it, the ship that Noguchi is on is still in orbit. She's hanging out with the hunters. Now, during this whole time, it's not like she's hanging out with the Marines. She's on the hunters' ship, translating this whole time. And it's almost like she's become part of the clan again. She's wearing the mask. She's joining them in battle. So she convinces them and says, look, we need to take the queen bug down to the planet. And they're like, okay, well, we can do that. But you're going with us, and we're all going down right now. So the hunter ship, they dispatch down to the planet and use the queen bug. Now we find out what the reason for the queen bug is. The queen can control the bugs with her own pheromones. So the plan is, if they can drop the queen bug on top of the killer's base, which Sereda was easily enough to transmit the coordinates to, if they can drop the queen bug right there, then her pheromones will override those that the killers are using, and we'll have mutiny on our hands, where the queen bugs will turn against the killers, all the bugs will turn against the killers, and instead of having to worry about our own army attacking and killing the killers along with all the bugs that they have, we now have our army, the Colonial Marines, the hunters, and the bugs all against the killers. So this is an easy plan to wipe them out. Not like the bugs are going to be on our team. We'll just say they're going to be busy attacking the killers along with us at the same time. So, okay. We get a big battle. The Colonial Marines are trying to take out some of the bugs along with the killers, and the hunters are joining in, trying to with the same goal. The killers are having their own hard time because the queen bug's been introduced, and now the bugs are attacking the killers as well. So these killer predators they're basically SOL right now. There is no hope They need to get out or do something to try and escape. And they don't. They don't. I mean, there's no escape pretty much. The only thing is that Noguchi is caught up with the hunters attacking these bugs, and they're still going to be overrun because and she knows it. There is, and before she even went down planet side with the hunters, she knew that getting into what is going on, she's going to die. Now, she left strict instructions, which I don't think we mentioned this yet, but there is a love interest between Ellis and Noguchi. They're I don't think they're married, but I know that they're definitely, they're definitely love interests. And Ellis, who's been hanging out on the backside of things, not getting involved, he's listening pretty much everything go down. He's not involved in the war. He's got his own clan of Marines there. And they kind of ask him, well, hey, are you going to go try and rescue her, or are we going to go back up? And he knows that going in and potentially trying to rescue her is also possibly a suicide mission. But of course, Huey Lewis said it best. It's the power of love. The power of love. It's a curious thing. It'll make another man sing. But no, he decides, he loves Mashiko, and that he needs to go and try and rescue her. So even though she left him strict instructions, don't come after me, he decides to go and do it anyway. So he pops up there, and of course the battle's raging on. She's still alive, thank goodness. The hunters are holding their own for right now, but they're about to be overrun by the sheer amount of bugs that are at this camp. And the battle is chaos. So Ellis shows up and hovers there and is trying to tell her, hey, come on. Now she's standing on the ship with the Hunter clan, and she knows that, she's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. While easily she could just be like, oh, I'm out, see you later. She has respect enough to turn and face the leader of the hunters that brought her back into the clan, who agreed to help her. And she somewhat feels bad for the fact that she's going to leave them. And the head hunter, the head clansman, grabs a knife and cuts this alien and has this acid on his blade and walks up to her, and she doesn't know if he's going to kill her. She doesn't know what's going to happen. He takes the blade and puts it right up against her forehead on that scar and burns that scar straight off of her head, so she is no longer part of the clan. She then turns and jumps onto the ship with Ellis, and she's rescued. So she's still alive. She turns and she looks back, and just like you were saying, man, there are bugs just crawling up wherever those predators are at. They're dead. But of course, the hunter's way, the way that they live is that it's death and glory. So going out this way is honorable. And so she's free. She gets away as our hunters are overrun and killed. We can assume. We don't see that happen in the comic, but that's pretty much what we can assume.
There's a big boom.
Oh,
you can assume.
Yeah,
that.
That's right. Because as Ellis and them are escaping orbit, there's this huge blue light explosion, blue light special, Kmart. There's this huge, explosion that occurs on the planet's surface. So we know that just in typical Predator fashion, one of them was laying on the ground, and a beep, bop, boop, bop, beep, right on the wrist, and it probably exploded it. Or their ship was self-destruct, one or the other. But either way, this thing has completely wiped out whatever bug infestation was there. All right. So pretty much at the end of issue 6, Noguchi is reflecting upon what happened, and we find out that she was notified. Sereda, the synthezoid. You ever watch Freakazoid?
I did.
Okay, all right. Just make sure that reference wasn't lost. She recalls that Sereda told her, I assume he got blowed up himself, but anyway, he had told her that there is another killer base out there somewhere. So, and in the last panel, I'm just going to go ahead and bring it up here. Let's see if I can find it. In our last panel, go to the pages, and then we go to this one right here. Yep. All right, let me go to screen share. Find it. Start it. All right, yeah. So right here in our last panel is another hunter, standing there in front of, or excuse me, killer, yes. Another killer standing in front of a brood of aliens and eggs. So, but she's cool. She's done her part. She's naked and hanging out with Ellis there. So, no care, not a care in the world, not a pubic care in the world. That ain't right. Don't say stuff like that. Anyway, there. 12:49, folks.
Source material after dark.
Yeah, yes, sir. So there it is. That's the end. So okay, Stephen Marsh, good Stephen Marsh. We made it through 6 issues. Let's go ahead. Let me first off say that infinitely better than Pray to the Heavens. We got a story here that I can follow where I know who are the good guys, who are the bad guys. I know that there are 2 sets of predators, and one is good and pretty much one is bad. I understand where the Marines fit in. I understand the plot of this story, what they've got to do, why they've got to do it. So this one, tremendous. I can remember when I first read this and telling you, I was like, man, this, shoot, what was that? Back in the summer sometime, because we were going to do this back to back, or at least close to back to back. Summer of '69, a while back.
Wow.
But yeah, I was, I can remember telling you, dude, this story is so much better than the first one. I enjoyed it. I mean, I really did. I think it's a great standalone series. What do you got to say about it, man? What are your thoughts?
I think I don't know. I think I like this one better because you liked it better. I like the other one, but I also had to fill in a lot of plot holes because you didn't know all the other stuff. So if you go back and listen to the other one and you don't listen to this one first, and then if you want to listen to the other one, you'll be you won't understand if you don't listen to the other one first, then why things are happening, and you won't be like Jesse and be like,
yes,
no idea what happened.
You got a point there, man, because really you could listen to this one and have a good idea of what's going on. Okay, you know that there's hunters, killers, all this other stuff. And we even get the flashback, and then you can go back and listen to the other one and hear what a complete story of what the flashback is, and how confused I was at that time, not having known what exactly was going on. But regardless, you can still go back and listen to it. So, how many Predator books have I covered now? 3?
3, yeah.
Okay.
Also, you know what that means, though. The first Predator book you ever covered was JLA versus Predator, which you didn't like, but I still love. But CW just had Yeah, they just had the crossover event. So if the Predators show up on the CW sometime soon, I will not be sad about that.
Oh, my goodness.
Imagine
Uh, I mean, was there ever a Predator series? Actual TV
what?
series? Was there?
No,
There wasn't. Okay.
no.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be. It could happen. It'd be a good one. Just scrolling through the
As long as
pages
he
here.
doesn't turn into a jet, right?
Oh, jeez. Man, there's so much. When I was listening to the, the boys
Kapow!
from Kapow talk about it today, talk about the Dominators and stuff. I haven't had a chance, but I'm sending them a message telling them, hey, I covered. First time I ever heard of the Dominators ever was JLA versus Predator. And they mentioned, I remember Michael. See, Michael and I don't know if you listen to that show or not, but Michael and Cliff, big DC fans, huge DC fans. So when they mentioned the Dominators, I didn't catch it at first, and then when they described the Dominators, I put two and two together because he was like, "I'm glad they don't look like." He goes, "I'm glad they don't look like." Their yellow skin and the big red dot on the forehead. And I was like, oh, them guys. Oh, no. Man, I don't even want I don't even want to, yeah. So
From
anyway,
the screenshots, I would have preferred the big yellow dot or big red dot and the yellow skin. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
I hear you. Well, what else, man? Anything else on this series that you'd like to talk about? Like, that you were anything impressed with, anything like that?
I had the cover art on 1, 3, and 6, or 1, 4, and 6. I don't even this one. Like that 3 skull tier thing is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I like
is.
that. It is amazing, and I'm gonna have to look at more of his stuff.
Have you ever thought about buying like original art?
Sometimes. I mean, I do at the con. So.
That's true, you do, don't you? What's any idea like what the most prolific creator you've ever bought a piece of art from?
No.
Okay.
I don't. No.
Well, I mean,
You?
me? Dude, I would love to.
I got some Marvel books one time. Those have some creators in them. Only artwork.
Those are. Well, I don't know if I'd ever have the money. I know that I would love to do it at some point. But, I mean, an original page for something. Like, imagine getting your hands on this original painting of this. I mean, you wouldn't have... All it would be is just... You wouldn't have to worry about anything else on top of this. You wouldn't have the barcode at the bottom, none of the lettering, none of that. It would just be that painting. And I think that would be... If you could get your hands on the original...
Like Benjamin did for you? Like, that was awesome.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, something like that is... It's so... The commissions, that's what's really... I mean, commissions are kind of... are just about kind of a step... I'd say a step down because clearly... with a commission, you're not getting what's being published. But
wait, so you mean like the original artwork for this?
Yeah, imagine getting your hands. Imagine getting your hands on the original cover art for this piece, for this issue. That would. I'm just, I don't get into that buying that art, but I hear that it's like insane, dude. I mean, I've never had the chance to see and buy original art as far as I know. I've bought prints, which I think most likely you have to. Not the album. No, not Purple. No, Purple Rain. But I've bought prints. I mean, that's somebody who makes a print of but the original piece. You got to think, if you were an artist and you made something like this right here, how hard would it be to part with it if you were a fan of the subject matter? Because
that would never leave my house.
if you could create something like this, I don't think I would either, man. It would be part of my portfolio, and there's no way I would even attempt to try and sell it. But if you did, I mean, it would be. I guarantee, like a piece like this would probably go in the thousands, easy.
Yeah, heck, the unreleased cover of the original Black Panther, like tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, that's right. When were we listening? That was on Comic Geek Speak, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one guy, it's been so long since I listened to some of their episodes. Not because I don't like them, but I just haven't had a chance to listen, catch up. I'm talking like since probably August. Pants is the guy who goes around and looks at art, goes to auctions for art, watches art online. Let's see. I've got YouTube here, and I'm sharing my screen. Let me see if I can let's see if I can find one real quick, and then we'll wrap up. I'll stop here, and let me go over here to this. What is the name? Comic auction. Can't remember the name of the place. Heritage. Ooh, let's look. So, it might not let me in because Heritage Auctions, which, here, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can look. You ever heard of Heritage? Okay. And start screen share. Okay. Is it showing where I'm at Heritage Auctions right now?
Spider-Man.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go and let's see if we can find original comic art, 802. I'll see if Golden Age Dave frequents this site a lot because this is pretty much where you can go and find a lot of Golden Age comics. So what we have here is original art. I'm looking for like some.
Yeah, and these aren't even all cut. Yeah, see, there's panels in those, so these aren't even like covers.
Yeah, these are pages. I'm just looking down through here. Look at that. Who did that? One day, 17 hours. Current bid is $7. Is there a way to like see buy now from owner, featured, make an offer, most active? Let's take a look at most active. Jungle Girls, original art. There's a Casper. $110 from 1961. Ooh, what's this? Legion 89, $110. There's a Wonder Woman. Goodness me. Put a shirt on, lady.
Stuff from Big Tracy.
I don't know what that is. Stag Annual Magazine. Okay. Frank Thorne Men's Magazine. Adult verification required. Okay. That's a stupid drawing. Oh, wait a second. Oh, look at that, Brian Boland. We've talked about Brian Boland before on here. That I'm surprised that it opens up February of 2017. What is the deal there?
$1.
Brian Boland, the artist for, I want to say he was the artist for The Killing Joke. Now I've got to go and see.
No, that sounds right because I remember Teasley saying that a lot when you guys covered that.
Okay.
Either that, or it's one of the books.
Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd. Yep, right there. His forays into interior art also include Batman: The Killing Joke.
Woo!
Woohoo! Good memory. Well, I don't see any covers, which it'd be cool if we could. I'd love to see some of the previous results. Like,
Yeah,
there used to be a way to look at previous results and finished bids.
pages are like the cheapest pages I'm seeing are like $250, and that's just for a page of like splash art.
Let's see, Heritage auction completed cover art. Let's see what we got. "1941 Superman number 12, original cover art, never offered before." Wow, 1941. So, do we have a price? Oh, okay. Robinson's work also featured in Top Comic Book Lot number 6, Top 100, is expected to bring 80,000 plus when it comes to a crossover. That's insane, man. Again, that's pretty old, though. I mean, we're talking 1941 original cover art. So imagine having that in your hands. And, I mean, it's not colored or anything. This is probably before it gets to the whatchamacallit. Yeah, whatever.
The Phantom 1973, 2,599. That is plus shipping.
Dang. Well,
it's only been on there a year.
A year?
So, yeah. Time to haggle them.
Yeah, bring them down. Time to bring them down. All right. Well, good Stephen Marsh. It's been fun, man. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. We've had a good time talking Predator, hunters, killers, Colonial Marines. Have anything? Plugs? Yeah. You don't have anything else left to say, do you?
That's it.
That's a good way to send it out.
That's a beautiful way.
So yeah, let's go ahead and we'll get into plugs, dude. What have you been doing here lately? Got anything you'd like to plug? Anything? Have you been on Screaming Boy in a while? It's been a while, haven't you?
The last time, man, I don't know. But the last time we were on there, we were on Never Ending Story. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. At October.
Oh, well.
I guess that hasn't been that long then.
No, it's probably it was a few months back, like 2 or 3 or 4 months. What is it, December? So, yeah, it's probably around August or September.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Well, what else you want to plug?
Damn. Christmas. Give a shout out to Christmas. It's coming up.
You know, Santa Claus. Better be good for goodness sake.
Yeah, Santa in the North Pole. That's the She Was So Pretty. They're making that sequel. That's coming out. I guess I'll plug that. Since we threw that out there.
Are you going to be an actor or anything in it? Because I know they were doing a casting call.
Yeah, they did that. Friend of the show, Joel Gant is though.
Oh yes.
And one of my friends from high school is as well, which is weird. But yeah, cool. There's people. They're doing. I think that's it. Super Wrestle Show is coming up. I don't know if I'll be on that, but that's happening.
Oh, you should be able to. You should be able to get yourself on that show. You'd be a returning guest, even though it wouldn't be. Let me tell you a funny story, okay? Funny story. So I'm sitting there. I'm talking with my wife and my mom because mom came over to watch the kids today, and all of a sudden my phone buzzes. I'm like, what's this? I got a tweet from the Figure Forecast. And it says, "Thanks for the Christmas card." I'm like,
yeah.
What the hell are they talking about?
I like where this is going. Continue.
So I open up the Twitter, and there's this picture, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, what is this? So, after sitting there looking at it for a couple seconds, they tagged me in it. Thanks for the Christmas card, and it says figure forecast, and it had a picture of the Christmas card there. And I'm racking my brain like I never did this. I send no Christmas cards out. And I'm like, wait a second. And I look at my wife. I said, Mindy, did you send a Christmas card to the figure forecast? And she's like, oh, yeah, I sent one to them. She's like, well, you had their address from the last time when they sent us one. I was like, oh, okay. Well, now that explains that. But it was just like straight up out of the blue. I was like, what is going on here? I had no idea. But yeah, she sent Christmas cards out to the figure forecast. Yeah, man.
Okay, it's not as weird of cool of a story. I thought it was going to be like you sent one last year, and it finally just got to this equally off. So confused. You're like, I don't know
what.
My name.
I thought maybe they mistaken me for somebody else. I didn't send them a fucking card, and then and then I'm like, well, that writing looks familiar. That's my wife coming through for me. She's doing a good job. That's so funny. I'm used to okay, we'll send Christmas cards out to relatives, but Mindy straight up made a point to make a Christmas card out to the figure forecast, which I thought was pretty cool. So
man, good thing Mike hasn't moved yet, because they would have never got that.
He hasn't moved yet? I thought he was gone.
I'm guessing not, from all the tweets and stuff. Like, he's been taking pictures and stuff. Plus, Chris just got the couch out of the studio the other day, so I'm hoping he didn't go to the new residence and be like, "Yeah, I'm here to take that couch out of your basement." He's like, hand it over.
I know you already moved it, but hey, I want it now. Gosh. Well, I guess we'll get into my plugs here. I really don't have. I mean, look. The way this month has gone down, man, I've taken the longest hiatus I've ever had. I at one point in my life, I was like, I'm never going to go 2 weeks without source material. I'm a bi-weekly show. I'll never go 2 weeks without source material. And then Thanksgiving hit, and I was like, man, I really want to do a show, but I didn't have the time to put one together. So by the time this one airs, which I don't know if I'm going to do this, if I get around to editing it before
Christmas. I get it. I get what you're saying.
No, it's either going to be this Monday if I get around to editing it to this weekend, but if not, it's going to be not the week after Star Wars, but the week after that. So we might be looking at a month since I've done a source material by the time one finally airs. But hey. Yeah. The Star Wars, folks, you can go out and check that out if you're listening live right now. There are 2 videos on the source material feed that you can actually go and watch where we discussed you can listen to the unedited version, because I guarantee when you get the edited version that pops up on Blog Talk Radio, it's probably going to be at least a half hour shorter. So if you want to check out the unedited one, it's back there in the source material YouTube archive. You can always check me out on the Radulich Broadcasting Network. I'm now of the third chair. I pretty much considered the permanent third chair of the Metal Hammer of Doom, and we just, as of right now, recently finished the review for Oakley Dokley and their album, Howdly Doodly. And we had, which is a metal band comprised of Ned Flanders lookalikes. And every song is at least mostly Ned Flanders quotes or a mixture of some other characters, but usually based off of somehow Flanders being involved in said quote. So we had the one, the only Robert Winfrey on there, who is, him and Benjamin both know so much about The Simpsons. And I'm almost kind of glad I was sick the week that the
Also, probably
everyone
the two of us Ned Flanders lookalike conglomerates on the Radical Broadcasting Network.
probably. Yes, indeed. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I was kind of glad I was sick when they did the Everyone Loves a Bad Guy on Simpsons villains, because let me just say, I would not have been able to hang. I offered my assistance and I was plugged to be on the show, but I ended up getting sick that week and my voice was crap. So I kind of bowed out of the show, but I don't know if I would have been able to actually add anything to that show or not, because those guys are geniuses when it comes to Simpsons trivia and all that stuff. So anyway, we had Winfrey on and we talked about, it was me, Mark, and Winfrey talking about Oakley Dokley, Howdly Doodly. It was a lot of fun. But I think we're going to be doing a Screaming Boy here at some point fairly soon. 2 episodes that are proposed. One of which is a discussion on the Nintendo Classic. And every bit of frustration will probably be voiced on my end of things, because that whole
he's got 3 of them, folks.
Debacle. I've got 3 of them, yeah. Let me tell you, if I had one in my possession, dude, I would have turned around and got an Xbox One, like, within 2 days. Golden Age Dave calls me. This is Black Friday. Or, no, it was the day they went on sale. And he told me, and it was showing me completed auction biddings, eBay, of them selling for near $1,000. I am not joking. And then within a day, it had really tamed down. Huh?
Have you seen the Hatchimals? Hatchimals are doing the same thing.
I've heard a lot about them, but I know somebody was talking about it. Somebody posted something on my feed about them, going like, he's like, I want to, if anybody sees a Hatchimal, let me know, but none of this $70 business. I'm like, okay. I didn't know what they were selling for, but I assume they're rare enough to are they going for like $1,000 though?
I'm sure there's scalpers out there selling for $1,000.
Idiots. There's idiots that are buying them for $1,000. Gosh, people are. Have you ever done anything like that? I know you got yourself a boy and you got another one on the way, I believe. But, I mean, have you ever bought a toy? Let's see, you got Matthew, right? 3 years?
Yes. Yep.
So he hasn't had that long of an influence on you to where you may want to buy him a toy that's in demand. But has that happened yet?
Yeah, he was. See, the thing is he says that he wants a Hatchable, but then like that kind of like luckily it faded.
Where did that come from? Is that why is he wanting something like that? Is that because it's on a commercial or something?
Yes, exactly. It's just because it's on the commercial.
All right.
This kid does not have the patience for an animatronic penguin to hatch out of that egg. Like, as soon as he got it, like, it would poke it once. He'd be like, Dad, time to get it out. And I'd be like, no, we got to wait. He'd be like, it's in the kitchen now on the floor. It's out. So, yeah, luckily that faded. But, yeah, nothing that makes me want to go out and, like, trample over somebody in Target to get something.
Yeah.
So far.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've done anything like that with Caleb. Usually his interest is, dude, seriously, I could probably say Caleb's 6 years old. Within the last 3 years, since we've had the advent of YouTube and we've owned a Roku, he's watched, honestly, I'm telling you the truth, he has probably watched maybe on the order of 10 hours of television in the last 3 years, actual television. He has watched YouTube out the wazoo. He has watched Netflix like you wouldn't believe. But, as far as watching a show like with commercials in it, it's almost non-existent. The only commercials he's really ever exposed to is anything that's on YouTube. And that's usually like stuff for adults, like, a camera or something like that. So I can't say that he's ever really wanted something that's really been in demand. Now, me, on the other hand, anytime a new generation system releases for a for like Xbox or PlayStation or something, there's a little bit of a knack to try and want to get something like that. But I don't think I'll ever do that. I'm too cheap to do it. I'm not plopping down some kind of crazy amount of money. But I would love to. My biggest thing would be to get something at price and then turn around and flip it. Like I was doing that with. Remember the Wii balancing boards?
Yes.
Oh, I ordered 1 year. I ordered 3 of them just so I could turn around and try and flip them on eBay. I was able to get them in stock. I got them in stock at Walmart down here. Not very well when it came to shipping. Because shipping always bites you in the butt on eBay. It's either shipping or the stupid fees that they try to get you. But always trying to get on that one thing and get those idiots to try and buy them. Did you ever hear that story? I think I told you of the reprints of Jessica Jones, the Alias comic, Alias #1. And okay, the way that it works is you can go down to, at one point you can go down to your local comic store, spend $1 and get a reprint of Alias #1. And there were people on eBay that were listing them and being upfront with the listing, stating that this is a reprint of the first issue of Alias. And right there on the front, it would say Alias #1, and people were paying like upwards of $30 or $40 for a reprint that you could go spend $1 on because the show was so hot at that time.
Man.
So, anyway, all right,
Poor kid.
I know I'm keeping you up, man. I don't mean to keep you up late. I want to go.
What's that? What's on the table for 2017 for source material?
Source material 2017 schedule. Well, here's the thing. Let me go ahead and I'll bring up Trello here, and I'll actually maybe I can show you. I'll share my pictures, the pictures of what I got, if I can find. Here, we'll go here, Trello. Trello.com. .com. Log in. Email. Oh, Lawson, I logged in. All right. Go to this right here. I love Trello. Trello's a fun little program. At least I use it a lot for this. So let me go ahead and I'll screen share here real quick. And I'll show you what we got on the agenda. Let me flip back here real quick and go to, oh my gosh, present to everyone. Here we go. All right. So here's Trello. This is a neat little board that I put together. Here's some suggested shows we got scheduled for next month. Recorded, needs edited. Yeah, all that stuff's blank because I ain't done one in a while. But over here, here's what was proposed a long time ago, Dark Victory. I was going to do Dark Victory in November. Didn't do it. But as you can see, I was talking about the Star Wars. That's already in the can. I just got to edit it and put it up there. All right. So here, right over here is a potential schedule for 2017. We got Batman. There's Lego Batman that was coming there in February. Wolverine, Old Man Logan, that is most likely going to happen for sure. That's going to be happening in March. Now, what we're trying to do is synergize with the Radulich and Broadcasting Network. So if they're going to do a coverage of a movie, then we would do a book to try and match up with that. Iron Fist, The Living Weapon. This is to correspond with the release of the Iron Fist series on Netflix. So that's March 27th, 2017. Guardians of the Galaxy. We got to pick a book for that. Don't have one yet. Don't have any idea what the book is, but that's going to match up with, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Got a Wonder Woman book, which I think me and Mark planned on doing one. It was a weird name, but it's going to correspond with the movie. And the plot of the book, if I remember right, was like Wonder Woman was helping out. Wonder Woman and Batman are involved, and Wonder Woman was somehow involved. Batman was like investigating this. It's not child porn, but it was some kind of I know it was some kind of a bad thing to do with kids, if I remember right. Wonder Woman ends up siding with the people that are like hurting the kids or something like that. Anyway, either way, Batman and Wonder Woman are at odds in the book. We'll figure it out. I can't remember what the name of it is. A Transformers book, apparently, July 3rd of 2017. We're going to try and figure out something to correspond with Spider-Man Homecoming, and most likely that's going to be with Benjamin J. Cologne. His birthday is right around then too, so he said he wants to do something around that time. I told him I'm going to definitely pencil him in and hopefully get him in there. RoboCop is doing another movie, apparently. So we got to, it'll be fun trying to figure out what we're going to do with that. August 28th, 2017. Untitled Marvel film, October 16th of 2017. Thor Ragnarok coming out November 13th, which most likely, if I can, I'm going to try and do the God Bomb saga for that next year in November. Justice League coming out November 22nd. I have no idea what we're picking there. And another Star Wars. Well, we'll be doing Star Wars episodes to every right around Christmas or so for the next few years. So that's episode 8. So that is kind of what is on the agenda. However, Mark told me that they are, and well, at first he did away with Damn You Hollywood, which I don't know if you've listened to that yet, but that's him and Winfrey usually do review a movie that would come out every week. So they would go to the movies, sit down, watch the movie, then do a review on Damn You Hollywood. Mark decided that there was a decision they had to make money-wise. Well, can't exactly go to the movies all the time. So they kind of cut back on that. So I don't know if they're going to continue to do that or not, but I know he canceled a lot of the movies. So this Lego Batman one may not be in the works. But I can tell you this, Stephen Marsh. First week of 2017, according to the old Google Calendar here, Mark twisted my arm at the end of Star Wars, and we are covering the first 4 issues of the Flintstones. So that will happen.
Nice.
That is going to happen. Now, as we've discussed before, I don't think it's completely overt. I made it through the first issue, okay? But I know that some of the stuff that happens, throughout the issue, or throughout the 4 issues. And have you looked into the creator of that, by the way?
I have not.
Okay. Now, he's got a bit of an interesting, the writer for that has got a bit of an interesting past on what he's wrote. Religion, I think he wrote some kind of a book about, I want to say something like that. It's like a summary of the Bible and how not to piss God off. So it's like, he has a very interesting take and background of writing, especially, the subject matter that he's dealing with in Flintstones is, kind of on the nose, and it's interesting to see how Mark, and of course, I told, Mark put me on the spot when on the show, on the Star Wars show, and said, okay, well, hey, we got to do that like first or second week of January. So I said, all right. I said, then Ronnie's coming with me. So I'm going to make Ronnie do it too.
Poor Ronnie.
He does not like that book at all.
I'm very excited to hear Mark's take on it, but I already know that.
I know, dude. Well,
not good.
Well, it's so funny because I sent Mark a message. I was like, dude, you've got to, because first off, I heard about this book off of iFanboy, and they had covered like the first, they brought it up as the pick of the week, like, or at least a contender for the pick of the week, one or two or 3 weeks in a row. I can't remember, but they would talk about what was happening in the book, and when they hit issue 4 and talked about some of the stuff that happened in there, I immediately, like, I told you guys about it. I told Mark, I said, Mark, all I want you to do is I just want you to read issue 4. I said, because Mark's a superhero guy. If you listen to most of the podcasts that he's on, he's the guy that likes the Hulk. He likes talking about Superman. but I wanted to see what his thoughts would be on something that is on a property that, number one, is, you know, it's kind of dated. The Flintstones, they're a bit, you know, they're from the 60s, for crying out loud. But, you know, I wanted to hear what he had to think about a comic book that, instead of being superhero related, was more related to the politics and the current events of today, thrown into a freaking Flintstones book. So that's what I think is going to be exciting to talk to him about, because he still hasn't read them. He wants to talk about them, but he hasn't read them yet. I said, do you have any idea what you're getting into? He's like, I want to cover the first 4. I said, you have not read them yet? He's like, no, I have not. I said, all right, then we'll cover them January. So we'll see. I think a lot of the discussion will be about how taking current events and putting them, at least that's going to be my side of things. I want to discuss, like, taking a property like the Flintstones and spinning it like they have. I think that's the most interesting part about the whole deal. But still, the current events and the subversiveness, there's stuff that's in there that's really, really subversive. So I'll be interested.
I don't know if it's subversive. I think it's all kind of like in your face.
Or on the nose. Well, I mean, again, I've only read it through the first issue, so. And
oh, really?
Yeah, I've only read the first. I mean, I know what happens. You know, like I said, iFanboy covered what happened in issue 2 and 3, and I think 4. But I know there's like Adam and Steve. I think that's in the 4th issue. Was it God Hates Dads, which Ronnie posted a picture of? So
no, that was me.
That was you.
I did
so
that.
that stuff is like, you know. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun discussion point, especially having Ronnie on there. I can hear it now, man. He's going to be like, I don't want this, and I don't like it. Like, all right, issue 2, I don't want this, and I don't like it. It's going to be fun.
Sick that day.
You want in?
Yeah, if I'm available, I want in, because I.
Man, you're in, dude. I'll pencil you in, dude, because we can have 4 people on the cast, no problem. We do Google Hangouts. I think we can do up to 10. So 4 people would be fun, because then we could do 1 topic per issue, and you know, it'd just be like, okay, what do you want to talk about in this issue, and do it that
Ronnie
way.
Will be like nothing every time.
What do you want to say about this one, Ronnie? Oh,
Get through this. Hurry up!
I could see him calling in sick. Be like, well, I can't come on the podcast tonight. And he'll make something up about, like, you know, Griffins coming in.
My toe.
Stub my toe. My headset won't fit. Griffins will show up. Griffins will show up. Yeah. All right, man. It's 1:30. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight, man. I appreciate it. I'll get this edited up, and I'll let you know. I'll plug. I'll tag in when we release it and all that good stuff. So I had a fun time, man.
No problem.
All right, man.
Like, I won't be like, I will have to ask my wife. Be like, were you on a podcast for me the other day? All right,
dude.
get to bed.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, later, man.
Bye-bye.